Hello everyone and welcome to Van Tech Corner. A few months ago, I made an unboxing video for the CR6608 Xiaomi router, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to install OpenWRT on this device. So this is the router belong to the CR6608X series that Xiaomi make for the China ISP. We have right here the CR6606, CR6608 and CR6609, and basically the installations is almost the same for all three models, just that they are using a different firmware. Okay, so right here we have the jailbreak nodes, and first of all you need to get the edit edge set to the router, to the Xiaomi router, and from that you are going to write the OpenWRT firmware. So at this time, we have the firmware available on OpenWRT snapshot 3. So we can just go here and get the swatch firmware.bin file. And beside the firmware, we will need another OpenWRT router. And we are going to create this xqsystem.lua file and then fill in with these lines and upload it to our router. Okay. So let's just do that. So for this video, I'm using the DDR3 because it has Wi-Fi connection. So right here we have the interface up and running. And first of all, I have created this xqsystem.lua file, and it looks like this. Alright, so here this is the line that we are going to have on the file. And after that, I'm going to use the WinSCP program to upload the file to the router. So we need to select the protocol is SCP, the host name is 192.168.1.1, the port number 22, the root, and your password, and hit login. Alright, so we are in. So if you first log into the router, make sure you navigate to the very top one. So it will be something like this. Usually when you are connected to the router for the first time, you are going to stay at the root directory, which is this one. But make sure you click on this button to go top, and then go to the user USR, and then library, and then LuCI, and then LuCI, and then controllers, and then admin. So this is, and now let's upload the file to it. Okay, so this is this one, go and hit upload, and that's it. So let's see what's next. Alright, browse this one's GGI LuCI active system tokens, and it should give you a response like this. Alright, let's do that. So right now we are using HTTPS, so I'm going to open the private mode 192.168. Alright, so we can see that everything is working as expected. So now we will need to set the wireless network interface IP to 169.254.31.1, and then turn off the SCP of the wireless interface. And after that, connect to this wireless with your computer. Okay, but some of you are using a PC window that you don't have a wireless connection. So in this case, I'm going to make it a little bit different. So right here we have two radios, and I'm going to change this one to OpenWRT. Alright, so let me put it OpenWRT. Let's put it OpenWRT, and the wireless security, maybe I just put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so save and apply, and after that hit save and apply. So right now my computer is directly connected to the DDR3. Okay, so I'm going to change the LAN bridge or the LAN interface IP address instead of creating another interface and attach to the wallet interface. Okay, So click the edit button right here, and then let me change it to this one. Copy that. Let's paste in. Alright, 255.255.255. Okay, that's good, no problem. Go to DHCP server, ignore this interface. Okay. After that, before we hit save, let's see what else. And after that, we will need to connect to the router to confirm the change. Okay, so that's it. 169.254.31.1, and right here, this is it. So hit save and then save and apply. So right now we need to go to our network connection right here. Change adapter option, right click, properties, and change the IPv4 to 169.254.31.3. Alright, hit OK. Alright. So now let's try to connect to the router again to confirm the change. And perfect. The configuration has been applied because just now we changed the LAN IP for the DR842C2. Alright, that's good. So right now we have no internet connection. That's fine. Connect to the router wirelessly and manually set your access device to this one, and then make sure this one give a valid response. So let's check it out. Perfect. Now let's move on. On the Xiaomi CR660X, log into the web interface. You would be redirected to a page with something like this. So now I will need to connect to my Xiaomi router. This is it via the wireless connection. And okay, so right now our IP address is 192.168.10.1. So let's log into that. Okay. So right now we need to pay attention to the stock, which is this one. So this is my stock. Okay. Proud this URL with stock from 1.3.1, which is the stock that we get right here. So this is it. Copy and paste it. Okay, so it looked like we had a little bit of space, so we will need to remove them. Let me paste in. Alright, so this is the URL that we are going to run. So this is my stock. So let me copy that and replace it right here. Okay. Okay. Connect SSID. The SSID is OpenWRT and the password is 1234567 and then this is the Mi router address, so it will be 192.168.10.1. Okay. Alright, so it looks great. So let's go. Hit enter. Alright, perfect. Message connect set code 0, which means the connection is successful. Let's verify that. It should return 0. Perfect. The code is 0. Alright, let's see. Proud this URL with stock from 1.3.1. So we need to do it again. So let's copy that and then go back to this one. Okay, so let me just delete this one. System one click connect remote token. So let's replace it. 192.168.10.1. So if we take a look right here, I have a typo. That's why I cannot connect to the server previously. Okay, so the stock. This is the stock. Okay, let's copy and replace this. Alright, so let's run it. Open another tab and hit enter. Alright, so the code is 0, which means we have successfully get the added edge connection. So right now, let's try to establish the added edge connection to the router. So right now, we should be able to establish the added edge connection to the Xiaomi router at 192.168.10.1. Let's do that. 192.168.10.1. Accept. The login as root and the password is the default password which you found on the back of your router. Or if you're using the CR6606, you can use the tool to calculate it. Okay, so I'm going to input mine now. So as you can see, it is W and then 55S44BM. Hit enter. And perfect, we are connected to the added edge of the Xiaomi CR6608. So right now we should stay connected and we shouldn't restart the router at this time. But right now we need to run these commands on the stock firmware shell. Hit enter, hit enter, and VRAM commit, and perfect. So right now, let's move on with OpenWRT installation. So again, let's minimize everything, and then let's establish the added edge connection. So now we will need to transfer our firmware to the CR6608. Okay. So let me go to the section, new sections, and I will hit new site. It will be SCP 192.168.10.1. The username is root and the password. Okay, so I need to type the password again. Or I can run PASWD and change a new password. Alright, so I can now ignore the default password. Update and perfect. So let's transfer the firmware to TMP. And you can see there are a lot of files on the TMP directory. Okay. So right click, upload. And now let's go back to the guide. Migrate to OpenWRT. Run this command. Enter. And then run this command. And and VRAM commit. And then empty, write, and then firmware. Okay, so let's do that. So just now our firmware is located on the TMP directory. So it will be mtd-r, write, and then it will be TMP, and then it will be OpenWRT. All you need to do is press OpenWRT and press the tab key, and then the system will automatically fill in the whole firmware name. And then after the firmware.bin, we need to select where the MTD is going to write it to. So it will be firmware. Double check the typo before you hit the enter key, because you are going to break your device if you make anything wrong. So let's go. So right now we can connect the PC to the CR6608 and we should be able to get OpenWRT up and running. Alright, so let's change the IP address for the network interfaces. So properties, and change it to GSCP instead of static IP address. So make sure all the wireless connection is disabled Let's try to ping once the router is up and running. (192.168.10.60) and perfect. We see the response from the router. So now let's do this. 192.168.1.1, hit enter, and let's see. Okay, so we are unable to connect to the router. Maybe LuCI will not pre-install because this is a snapshot version. So let's try the edit edge. 192.168.1.1, accept, login a root, and perfect. So PASWD and give it a password. So let's connect the WAN cable to the WAN port of the Xiaomi router and try to install LuCI. Let's see, I have config. Okay. So right now we can see that my WAN and LAN IP address is the same. So I will need to modify my LAN IP address. So let's run etc config, then network, and change my LAN IP address to maybe .5.1. But before we able to change it, press the I key on the keyboard to switch to the insert mode. As you can see, it's changed right here. Replace 1. After that, press the EXE keys and then colon, and then right and click and hit enter. And then service network restart. So now we should be able to connect to the router with the new IP address. Alright, now root to host. Accept, root. Okay, let's see if the connection is up and running. And yes, it is. So let's run ping google.com. Perfect. OPKG update. And then OPKG installs LuCI. Alright, we can see that a lot of stuff has been downloaded and installed on the router. Okay, perfect. Let's try it again. So let's try with HTTP. And here we are. So OpenWRT running on the Xiaomi Mi router CR6608. And we can see that everything is up and running really well. We have 244 MB of RAM, and we have around 128 MB of disk space. Okay, so far so good. Let's see the network interfaces. So yeah, as usual, we have LAN and WAN interface, and the device with DSA. There is no switch menu. On the wireless interface, we can see we have two devices. So actually I'm confused by the naming right now, but what to do right now, let me enable NACAX. Let's edit, and this is the multi-AX, so I'm going to go with the default configuration right here. This one should be 5G. Wireless security. Alright, let's see, save, and then save and apply. And enable. Okay, so right now the wireless connection should be up and running. Yep, CR6608-5G. Let's do the same. Channel 1, the wicket 20. Wireless security, this one, and then change the password. Save it, and that's it. Save and apply. And then enable. Okay, so the two wireless connections of the CR6608 is now up and running. So let's go to systems and change the hot name. So right now I'm going to install HW and run a quick IPv3 test. So let me connect to my upstream router, which is 192.168.1.1. So this is a NanoPi R4S, and let me install IPv3 on it. Okay, so pkg update, and on this one as well, opkg install IPv3. Oh, actually, I'm not going to install IPv3 on the CR6608, but I'm going to test it out on my PC. So let's run HW. We have 4 core. Okay. Let's open another one. 192.168.5.1. And run top. Alright, so we have yet to install IPv3. Now let's run opkg install IPv3. We can see that the package has been installed. So let's run IPv3-s. And now what we need to do is to make sure the network interfaces and the packet steering is enabled. Yes, it is. And for the firewall, the shortwave offloading is still disabled. Okay. So on my PC, it is right here. Let me run the IPv programs. IPv3.c 192.168.1.1 T20. So before we proceed with the test, let's have a quick check on the network connection. So this is my CR6608. It is 192.168.5.1, and the NanoPi R4S is running at 192.168.1.1. So we can see that WAN and LAN has a different subnet, which means there is a network address translation happening. Okay. So let's go. Alright, so we can see that with the shortwave offloading disabled, we are running at 600, around 605 or something, and we can see that the CPU is at 56% idle. So it is 618 megabit per second, 1-to LAN throughput with the WAN mode at GSCP, and the LAN mode is just a normal LAN IP address. So let's run it again, this time maybe -40. Okay, we can see that one core is being fully utilized right here, and the rest of the core is still loading just around 20%. So it is 547 megabit per second. Let's enable the shortwave offloading and try again. This time 20 will be enough. Hit enter. So with software offloading enabled, we are running at 720 megabit per second. Still, we can see that 4 cores is shared a lot. It is still not the highest result that I am looking for. So let's enable the hardware offloading and give another try. Let's go. Okay, so with the hardware offloading enabled, we are running at 925 megabit per second, and we can see that the CPU is almost at 99% idle. There's very little load on the CPU. But when we are enabled the hardware offloading, this may not fully work with SQM-CoS. So this is something we need to sacrifice when we are turning on the hardware offloading. So now I'm going to disable the Ethernet connection and try with Wi-Fi. Disable, and for sure I lost the connection. That's okay. Let's connect to the CR6608 5G. Yes. Go to property and let's see. Let's change it to private. So we can see that the link speed is 1201 Mbps. That's good. And then let's see, the protocol is Wi-Fi 6, that rate. And for this test, I'm using the Intel's AX1800. Okay, so let's refresh the connection. Edge top, restart section, root, log in, and then top. So now let's see if we have the same result. Okay, the server had terminated. So we will need to establish the added edge connection to the R4S again and start the IPv3 server. Alright, let's go. So with the PC placed nearby to the Xiaomi CR6608 router, I got the IPv3 test at 412 megabit per second. Let's run it for T40. And we can see that the CPU is at 65% idle. So 35% of the CPU has been used for this wireless test. Okay, so the final result is 415 megabit per second, but we can see that the speed is fluctuates, so it's go from 460 to 400 and then trigger 65 and up and down like that. So we can see that the throughput is still not stable. So I'm going to make more tests, and maybe there will be an upcoming video with the detailed test of the CR6608 Xiaomi router. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.